kids today, what with their rock and roll music and going around with their boom boxes and listening to like the Rolling Stones and, you know, Casey and the Sunshine Band and, you know, all that stuff, the long hair and everything. Well, hey, I've got a special guest on this episode. It's the Teen Woodworker, Alex Harris. If you guys don't know Alex Harris, he runs a channel on YouTube. I highly suggest you take a look at it. Just go to YouTube, type in Teen Woodworker, and you'll find his videos. They're really cool. The kid's doing some great work.
So yeah, hey guys, I'm Alex, and just like Steve, I'm a woodworker with a little bit of a difference, except unlike Steve, I think I've got my head screwed on a little bit tighter.
Wait, what? Hey, Alex, you do a really cool English accent. Was that hard to learn?
Oh, the English accent. Yeah, that's something I just developed over about 15 years.
Wow, and I've been working on my American accent for almost 45 years. Here's my English accent. Well, if you didn't already see it in my Gordon Ramsay, you know, video. Here's my English accent. Okay, let me get into character. I'm gonna do Harry Potter, okay? Because here in America we say Harry Potter. Okay, here's my Harry Potter impression. It's you, Harry Potter! So, Alex, anyways, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you got into woodworking and all that stuff.
Yeah, woodworking's been a hobby of mine for about 5 years now, but it's only really in the last year that I took it a bit more seriously, and I...
Okay then! Hey, Alex and I thought it would be really cool if we collaborated on a video. So, you know, I had my people contact his people, and it was all very complicated. But anyways, we decided that it would be fun if we each shared our favorite woodworking tips.
Let's do it!
Well, let me get started with my favorite money-saving tip. Not a lot of people know that regular yellow wood glue is actually formulated too strong. They do that, well, so you'll buy more glue. But really, there's a way that you can extend the life of your glue. 1 part of glue and Coca-Cola, well, any kind of cola. I've got a generic brand here. This is actually a Diet Cola. And you mix about 4 or 5 parts of that in with the glue. And I don't know, there's something about, you know, like the tannic acids in the cola that react with the glue. And it actually creates a bond that is just as strong as the glue itself. So I've got it all mixed up, and you know, you just apply it like you would glue. And I know this sounds crazy, but believe it or not, you're gonna make your glue last for years by doing this. Well, I've waited only about 45 minutes, and let's test the strength of this bond. I can't get that apart at all.
So speaking of wood glue, you can mix up your own just using flour and milk, and it's just as strong as any other wood glue. So to mix up wood glue, all you just need is equal quantities of flour and milk, and you just mix those together. And the secret ingredient you want to put in is balsamic vinegar, and this is because of the acid that only occurs in balsamic vinegar. You just want a couple of drops, otherwise it could start to smell. But because of the acid in balsamic vinegar, it sort of acts as a catalyst and produces a really strong glue. So I can just use that glue now, just as it's any other glue. I just spread that on the joint that I'm gluing up, nice and evenly, and that's ready to glue together, just like so. And with a bit of clamping pressure, that's going to glue together just fine. Now with the board glued up like that, this glue will actually store almost indefinitely, so you could put that in a ordinary glue container, and then that'll just last for almost forever, just like any other wood glue.
That's a great tip. And here's another one. While you have your milk out, why not preserve your expensive drill bits? You can preserve them in milk. Just pour some milk into a container and drop your bits in there. And believe it or not, what happens is that I think it's the zinc in the metal actually reacts with the milk, and it prevents it from spoiling. So you can actually just store this on your shelf for really months on end, and it'll keep your bits sharp and clean.
Wow, that's a great tip, Steve. I'll have to try that one out sometime. Now another money saving tip is if you want to save your sharp blades from getting dulled. Most people don't realise that ordinary cardboard is actually pretty strong when in a radial motion. So I'm just attaching my blade as I would any other table saw blade, and once I've got this, I would just say finger tight for this one. This is ready to cut. So I'm sure most of you had paper cuts. Now let's see how cardboard cuts. Well, there you have it, 1/4 inch MDF cut just about perfectly using cardboard. I might as well just throw this blade away now.
Wow, that's a great tip. Well, here's a tip for your regular saw blades, and it's a way to keep them sharp. What you do is you get some volcanic rocks. These are ones that I actually got out of my garden, and what you need to do is you want to make sure that they're, you know, about a 1/2 inch in diameter, little volcanic rocks. Pour them into a box and take your blade, put it in the box. And then what you do is you start shaking it around. And the longer you shake it around, the volcanic stones actually act as a pumice, and they will just fine-tune that blade to just razor sharp precision. In fact, if you buy, say you buy that brand new Freud blade that costs you $90 and you get it out of the box and it's really not that sharp, stick it in a box of volcanic stones and it'll just sharpen it up. It'll just, oh man, it'll be so sharp it'll just slice through wood like butter. So Alex, what else do you have for us?
Well, I'm sure all you guys know how your safety glasses seem to always get scratched. Take these ones for example. Well, I've got a great tip to prevent this from happening. So just take some ordinary Vaseline or any other petroleum jelly and just spread a good coat all over the lenses. So there we have it. My glass is not only protected from scratches, but now my vision is magnified because of the Vaseline covering the lenses.
Dude, that is so cool. That's like 2 tips in 1. But here's another, well, sort of safety related tip. Using lacquer thinner. You know how you get those little nicks and scratches on your hands? You can't do woodworking without getting nicks and cuts. Well, I've got some right here. Well, actually those are from my cat. I've got kind of an evil, demented cat. But anyways, if you get nicks and cuts on your fingers and you just want to keep working, lacquer thinner. Put a little bit on a rag and just rub it right onto those scratches, and it's not only soothing, but it'll just stop the bleeding immediately.
Well, Steve, I don't actually have any lacquer thinner because I just don't use lacquer anymore. What I use instead to get a really hard wearing finish is this golden syrup. Now this gives a really sort of nice sort of dark finish, like a dark shellac, which is really great for sort of making your work really sort of vibrant, and it also comes in this sort of squeegee bottle. But if you want a clear finish, a corn syrup will work just as well. Now the secret to this is to spread your finish all over the board to start with, like this. So by introducing this fast heat, a chemical change occurs in the syrup, causing a really hard wearing finish, which is actually even waterproof. I don't want to use a heat torch at this point because it's just too strong and will cause the finish to crack. And there we have it. A good solid finish that didn't take more than a couple of minutes.
Alright, for my last tip, this one may seem a little strange, but you know, I'm in California and this seems to be taking off in California. You see it on construction sites, you see it everywhere. And hey, what happens in California spreads to the rest of the world, right? Huh? Well, it involves this, using a bra.
Just for the record, we're not related.
Okay, well you kind of got to get used to hooking it around the back, but you know, basically there it is. But the nice thing about these is that, well, they come in different sizes. You know, if you don't have a lot of things to store, you get the A cup, but you know, in this instance, I got the D cup, and so say you got a lot of screws to store, you just shove them down in there, and on this one, right like there. And the nice thing about it is, if the straps are hanging out like this, you can actually hang a hammer on it. Well, there you have it, just a few handy tips that might help you out a little bit in your woodworking. Alex?
So thanks for watching this video on woodworking for mere mortals, and remember to check me out by typing in the Teen Woodworker on YouTube.